taking care of your responsibility.
So for us to have this conversation,
So do you think that the only responsibility of a man is to take care of responsibility?
What's going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come back at you this afternoon and bring you another reaction video. I got Jesse Lee Peterson here, and he's talking to an actor by the name of Jay Horton. And they're talking about masculinity and what it means to be a man. And, I really kind of want to get into this conversation a little bit because I think people are unsure nowadays what it means to be a man. I'm trying to get the reaction of people like Jesse Lee Peterson and very liberal young men like this Jay Horton, whoever this actor is. But number one, guys, if you would, please like and subscribe to my channel. I just started my channel back in the spring, and I've got just over 100 now. Subscribers. I picked up 5 or 6 in the past few days, so I'd like to get to at least 110 by early next week. So if you would, please like and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment down below what you think about the content, and I'd really love some feedback and let me know what you think. But yeah, let me put this up and we can see what Jesse Lee has to say to Jay.
He has no fear?
No. I mean, fear, that is totally...
A man doesn't have fear.
I disagree. I feel like fear is something that's necessary. I feel like...
No.
I feel like...
Why do you feel that way?
Because you would die without fear.
No, fear hold you back.
No, fear is putting no fear is putting your hand on a stove and keeping it there because you're not afraid what's going to happen.
No, that's stupidity. And I think what Jesse Lee is trying to get at, I understand what this younger guy Jay Horton is saying, and I get it. I understand he's saying that I think what he's trying to say is you got to have healthy respect for things. You got to have respect for a hot stove or a lake full of alligators or, the edge of a cliff. We got to have respect for things. We got to have respect for things that could hurt us. But it doesn't mean that we have to necessarily fear that thing. We only have to fear it when we're standing at that edge. If we're swimming in the lake with crocodiles, yeah, I think majority of us are going to be afraid. But what Jesse Lee is talking about here is something deeper than that. Like, what he's talking about is fear in the sense of being willing to walk down the path and do what you have to do and do what you believe is right. And what you feel in your heart is right, and doing it anyways, even though other people are, putting you down or yelling at you or whatever, or telling you shouldn't do something. They're trying to instill that fear in you. And that's what I think what Jesse Lee is trying to say, that, men do in their heart what they feel to be right. They know to be right. And they walk down the path, and they do that without fear. And again, I'm not saying in any way that I'm in that place right now, but just like, I understand what he's getting at, and I've worked with people that have helped mentor me in ways that it's like really talking about the fear. And, I think Stoicism and a lot of philosophy goes to that root, that a lot of times we're stopped by fear of, we're self-conscious. And I think one of the reasons why people don't stand up to what they know to be wrong is because of fear. They're afraid of looking like they're not woke or not, not not they're not going with the crowd. They're not going with the herd. And if they step outside of that, they understand they're going to get a backlash from people as a whole. But let me play a little bit more of this.
No,
I'm not talking
to
about.
be fearless. I mean, like, I also believe in being smart. Like to say you have no fear. I mean, that's just living in.
I have no fear.
You have no fear, so you would walk into oncoming traffic.
No, that's common sense not to do that.
I mean, if you weren't afraid anything would happen,
But
you
that's
would walk
not
into
what.
oncoming traffic with no fear.
That's common sense.
Yeah, but he knows something would happen. I mean, it's just common sense. It's just being smart. And that's what he's talking about. And the problem is that people, a lot of times, they try to win arguments. They're more concerned about winning an argument, winning and not winning. They're not. They're more concerned about winning an argument. I mean, this guy's 28. I think he said years old. He's more concerned about, and older people are too. In a lot of ways, they're more concerned about winning an argument, so to speak, than actually being correct about something. And what Jesse Lee again is trying to say to this young man is, yeah, it's not fear. I'm not afraid of that. I just understand that would hurt me or that would kill me. It's not the fear. It's the intelligence of understanding that would not be something that would be smart to do. And I'm not going to do that, but I'm not going to sit there on my couch and stay inside and be afraid because of oncoming traffic. It's like it has, and that's what Jesse Lee is trying to get at. Like, instead of sitting there and thinking about all these things that could happen to you, think about the path that you have to walk down, what you have to do, not what you have to stand up to, not worrying about what other people think about you. And, that's something I'm even coming to in my own life and working through myself. It's like not worried about what other people had to say. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm not, I got to stop worrying about, all of us do, what other people think. I mean, it's not about doing the wrong thing or about hurting other people. It's about living our life the way that we feel in our heart is correct. And I don't think, again, for people to say that, well, what if you feel that murdering people or whatever in your heart's correct? Nobody in your heart knows that's correct.
Let me just tell you what a man is. Man is a male who loved what's right with all his heart, soul, and might, more than anything or anybody else.
I believe that's
on
your
the
opinion.
earth. A man leads the way without being told.
I
A
disagree.
man is the strength of
There's
his.
plenty of
If
men
he
who
has
follow.
a
What about all
family,
the soldiers and things like that who are following orders, who are doing what their their subordinates tell them?
a man would do that.
Yeah,
But
but
that's
you're
part
saying
of being
a man is somebody who automatically leads. I believe that there's certain people who are leaders and certain people are not. Just because somebody's not a leader doesn't necessarily mean that they're not a man. Just because somebody's afraid.
A
I mean, there's
man
a lot
is
of things to
if he
fear
has
in
a
this
family,
world.
he's the head of his wife.
Exactly, and having
you
a
agree to
family
that?
to me, I mean,
Do you agree that a man is the head of his wife?
the head of his wife in what way?
Period. Always.
Of course not.
You don't believe that?
That's silly.
Why is that silly to you?
I'll tell you why. Because look at the numbers. We were talking about college earlier. We look at the numbers. Women graduate 33% more than men, meaning third of the people in college and 2/3 of women.
Only because society is catering to women and deliberately holding men
There's
back.
nothing to support.
There's everything to support.
Yeah, there's quite a bit to support that. And it's like, yeah, I again, I know the guy's young man, but it's like, there's a certain amount of waking up that people are going to have to do. And they're going to have to understand that right now we're catering to the victims, or what we call the victims. They're not real victims. Again, one principle of power is to have power and say you don't have power. And I think one thing that the people that are quote unquote victims do is they have more power than they want to portray, and they use that as a form of their power. And right now we're catering a lot to victimhood, and I think there's a kind of a double-edged sword that's in there. It's like we're we think, oh, we're doing what's best for victims and everything else, but we're creating more and more victims, because I believe people understand in a way that victimhood is power. Victimhood equals power. You get a platform to speak. You get a platform to yell and scream and whatever. It's like, it's kind of like Lizzo, I think the singer's name is, who was on the VMA Awards, back a month ago or whatever it was, and she was saying, vote to repeal the laws that oppress people that look like her. And it's like, how are people that look like you oppressed? Well, because you're a woman, or you're black, or you're fat. I mean, really, what is that? Because you're all of those things, yet you make millions of dollars with a private plane, and you got this huge platform to yell whatever, bullshit you want to yell from. And it's like, but we got to buy that you're oppressed, and that people that look like you are not able to succeed in this country. It's like, yeah.
Let me go back to something.
That's emotional pandering.
The one thing I do want you to know,
because I know plenty of women. I've traveled across the world. I've met single women who run their own households. I've met lesbian couples who live in it and who have no idea of them. I know one of them, and I've met women who make more money, who are smarter than them.
Only because society is holding men back.
In those situations, I don't see how you're.
Society is holding men back. That's why these women are doing it.
I disagree. I feel like men are. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, there's a lot.
One thing I do want to say, though, that you could be a leader without being at the head of an organization. A man that leads is not necessary in the military. He got to follow the commandment of the order of the military. But a man is not a liberal. Any man that says that he's a liberal is a woman.
Well, that sounds silly. I can't. I mean, like, I'm a very logical person. I like to look at.
Jesse Lee, man, he trolls people. He will, he just likes to kind of pick at people, and I think I find him correct on a lot of stuff. I will say that, to use his terminology, I think he's right on most things. On most, but not all, whatever he says, but he has a way of getting under people's skin. And I believe that he is able to also use that in a way to kind of make a point. And again, people, a lot of people can say, well, he's not good with this, or he's not good with that, or he's not, he doesn't sound the most educated on things or whatever. I think that's the point. I think that, again, the educated have been the ones that, that have allowed certain movements to happen. You know, because I think so much where I did a video actually last night where Dennis Prager spoke on this a little bit. It's the idea that educated people, a lot of times, are so educated by the system that they are indoctrinated. They're not the free thinkers in a lot of ways that they give themselves credit for. And I have a college degree. It's not that, so I'm not trying to speak totally against the educational system, but there is something to be said about the fact that a lot of college liberal, think the same way. And if you think differently, if you're like, I don't agree with that or something, you're shouted down. They try to put you into a place. They disapprove of what you're saying. And when that happens, is you get with their program and you line up in a way, or you face being put to the side. You face being shunned, being ostracized because of your political or ideological beliefs. And we're I think a lot of times we place people outside of things if they don't agree with the current mainstream. And I think that's what's happening, what has happened on college campuses. And I think that's what's being pushed in the mainstream media in a way. And I think that's what Jesse is kind of getting at, and why he's so good at what he does in a way, because he tries to bring a more common sense type approach to things, even though he can be a little bit far, for a lot of people, he gets a little far removed in a way, but I think he does have a lot of good points. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video, and please comment down below and like and subscribe to my channel if you like my content. But again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. You son of a